I heard growing up in New Orleans, it was a big boxing town at one time, and I was hearing these stories, and they had a story about these two brothers that had a similar situation. You know, they got involved in fighting on ships way back in, I think, around the 40s. It was. So we it was kind of like that's where the idea came, and then having like the sort of mixed martial arts fighting involved because it's so big and prevalent now. Yeah, and he and I were trying to figure out something to do together. So he introduced us to Chris Severson, the director. And we pitched the project to him. He liked it a lot, so we collaborated on it, and he liked the idea of shooting in New Orleans and everything. And yeah, like 8 months later, we were ready to go. For me, I just boxed, you know, in the summers growing up. Not that I'm any kind of, you know, just
dangerous man walking the streets.
Yeah. Hopefully no one thinks that. Could be in trouble. And then he was a black belt in karate. So we kind of just took those basic skills that we knew and kind of created characters around the styles that they could do. And then just trained a whole bunch and worked with some really great guys in Los Angeles. A guy, Pepe Riley, he was an Olympic boxer and trainer, and you worked with Matthias?
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty cool. He trained with at Freddie Roach's gym in Los Angeles. You know, Freddie Roach, who trains Manny Pacquiao. So in Los Angeles, he was boxing there and training with those guys. And yeah, I had a black belt and I did martial arts growing up, but I hadn't done it in a long time. So before we started filming and we got to New Orleans, we went to New Orleans BJJ, which is the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Academy, and we worked with a guy named Matthias Meister, who's an excellent Jiu-Jitsu guy, Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. My character predominantly does more Jiu-Jitsu, and his character does more of kind of a stand-up traditional boxer. So he trained with a couple guys there at the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu place that did more stand-up stuff, and I trained with more of the ground guys. But we got there like 2 months in advance and just kind of started hitting it hard because even though I had a black belt, I hadn't done it in a really long time. And, you know, he'd boxed a lot growing up, but it's like, you know, when you're doing a film, it's like you've got to be, you know, we want to make sure we knew what we were doing and had the right amount of time to prepare and train and not pull muscles and look like idiots when we're out there. You know, we still pulled a few muscles and had a few stitches, but maybe not as bad as it could have been. Because we had stunt doubles there, and we had great guys, but you know, we kind of went into it wanting to do a lot of our own stuff. You know, I mean, things you can't, you know, there's certain things like flying through a glass window and stuff like that, you know, of course we didn't do, but you know, it was important for us to do our own stuff, and yeah, I mean, it is very physically tolling because you know, you're doing numerous takes, and it's just a lot of movement, a lot of, you know, it's exhausting. And when you get tired, I guess, is when you get hurt. So, there, you know, a couple of us got hurt, and I think someone passed out in the ring, didn't they? Who's that guy that passed out?
Somebody threw up and passed.
The best work of the whole film. He's supposed to go down. You know, there's a moment where I turn around, you're supposed to kick him, he's going to go down, and he just dropped like a sack of potatoes, and I was like, God, how could I do that? And it was so believable. Best acting in the whole film. He passed out. Couldn't do it any longer.